Yeah, absolutely, Frank. And that's one of the things that we have seen, that flash flooding. And we knew that was going to be a problem because of all that rain that we got over a short period of time last night. But we're in the parking lot of our hotel right now, and we're starting to get a look at some of the things you're seeing, right? So, of course, there's these branches that all snapped off trees that are littered across the parking lot. You can see all these trees and branches that broke off right here in the parking lot, even stretching across the lot into the shopping complex on the other side. You can see all that debris kind of scattered. But really, the big thing that we're seeing is take a look right here at this truck. You can see this tree. It's about a 30-foot tree, about 4 feet in diameter. We talked about how that rain would saturate the soil, right? Get in there, uproot these trees, and cause a lot of these problems. And just look at the size of the tree. Came crashing down right into this pickup truck. You could see that side mirror is all smashed. You could see the windshield was completely crashed through as this tree is lying on it. And this is one of the things we're expecting to see because of all those strong winds, those powerful and intense gusting winds and all that rain. We're going to see a lot of this tree damage. And this is one of the things that we were really worried about, right? With all those high winds. And you know, we talked to some of the people in the hotel that said these were their trucks. So they came out here. Some of them were working out of this area, but you can just see just what this did. This is just a small example because we really haven't been able to get a good look at the aftermath quite yet. But once it gets light out, we know we're going to have a lot better picture of just what took place. And one of the things that we're hearing, a lot of these people here staying at this particular hotel, they're staying here because their homes were flooded out by Anna Maria Island in St. Armands. And now they're not sure even what they are going to come back to because of all the rain, where that hurricane hit. They're worried about the devastation that can cause. And of course, we know that Bradenton has set up an emergency unit. They're going right from the EOC. They have these excavators ready to go. They have utility companies ready to go because we know widespread power outages are going to be a problem because just looking at here, and you can see like how these trees just snapped off and are laying here in the parking lot, like this palm tree. There's a pole down over there. Because of this, we know that a lot of the power has been compromised. A lot of people are out in the dark, and we were worried about all that debris, right? We know they got it off of those state roads. We're able to clear all that debris off those main roads, but there's still a lot of that debris that's been scattered all over those side streets out by Holmes Beach and those surrounding areas. So one of the things with those strong winds, if they're able to snap these trees like twigs, you wonder what happened to all that debris. We know there's been broken glass along the streets that we've heard. We've seen cars like that one that we just showed you that had trees crash right through the windshield. So we're going to get a much better look at just what this aftermath looks like when the sun comes up.
All right, Nick Voltero reporting live for us out there. Nick, any idea on what's next for Bradenton? I know we're going to be assessing the damage, and we know we've got a lot of people without power, and you're just getting out there yourself and you're taking a look at it.
Yeah, you know, and that's the thing. They're waiting for everything to calm down. That's what I heard from the mayor yesterday. He told us they're going to wait for everything to pass. They have the Florida CERT teams deployed, ready to go out there and be able to start with relief efforts and recovery efforts, because that's really the first step, right? Making sure there's still no one in the home, being able to assess all the damage. But we know there's so many people right now that are in the dark. But the one great thing that came out of all of this, and that lesson that was learned from Helene, was people heeded those evacuation orders, right? People paid attention, they listened. It was a ghost town out here, deserted. You went down the streets, every business was boarded up. There was no one out on the roads, which is very encouraging, because when they do have to go in there and first responders have to react and be able to get things back together and pick up the pieces from this, it's going to make their lives a lot easier.
Yeah, Nick, long lines for the commute out of town because they were trying to heed those warnings, and what you just showed us right there, it's going to be long lines on the phone, right, as people are calling their insurance companies. I can only imagine there are just so many things that people are concerned with right now. What are some of the things that are top of mind, as there's so much to be concerned with?
Yeah, and you know, talking to people just in the lobby, one of the things they were really concerned with was really about the conditions of their homes. A lot of people got out of those island areas because they had to evacuate. So they're staying at this hotel, which is a little safer. They also have a generator that's connected to the hospital. So the power here is usually very stable. It's very reliable. But people tell us they don't know what they're going to come back to, right? They don't know what that flooding is going to look like when they go back to their homes. Even if they were spared during Helene, they were really worried that they weren't going to be nearly as fortunate this time. And, you know, one of the crazy things is we were going to park our car right around this spot last night. It's one of the only spots left where that truck was parked that you can still see when you look over there. That tree is crashed through it. We were in this particular vicinity. So, you know, thankfully we managed to park on the other side. But this is one of those things, right? I mean, there's so many trees that have been uprooted from this storm. So this is something we're probably going to expect to see as we start moving around, checking out the area and kind of preparing for, you know, what's next.
Yeah. Also, Bradenton Beach just on Friday, before that storm, had just opened up access to that portion at 8 a.m. People were able to get back in and assess damage from Helene, and now they're going to be dealing with this today.
Yeah, you know, and that's the thing, Sarah, right? I mean, they just opened it back up for the damage from Helene. And when we were over there by the beach, we saw that damages. There were houses that were completely washed out. It looks like sand went right through the foundation, almost like a bulldozer plowing right through it. Houses were torn in half. And yesterday we were able to show you those mountains and mountains of sand that were built up over there outside of those homes that washed out from the beach. So, of course, these people are still picking up the pieces, trying to get things together. And now you have this storm coming on the heels of the other. It just makes a lot to take in.